Now, the differences between urban and rural areas around Huddersfield are not always clearly defined. This is the case with where I am today, Dalton Bank Nature Reserve, kind of between Dalton and Kirkheaton. It's actually kind of on the edge of a very industrial area of Huddersfield, but is also on the edge of some really, really nice countryside that perhaps a lot of people in Huddersfield don't actually know is there, except if you perhaps live in Kirkheaton or Dalton themselves. So please join me as I go for a little explore, a little adventure around 50 acres of woodland and grassland. So come with me, let's go and have a look.
Now, first very superficial impression of the woods is, first of all, it's not very busy at all. Secondly, with 50 acres of woodland and grassland, it's very natural, although they have put these steps in place and a couple of benches so you can have a break walking up this steep hill. It is quite steep, I'm breathing a bit. Makes it quite accessible for dog walkers and elderly people, and coming here with your friends and family as well. As I said, 50 acres of grassland and woodland. Much of this is coniferous trees, like that down there. I'm just panning round to show some of the other more native trees that have been planted here as well. So there's a kind of mixture of man-made and natural woodland. Up here at Dalton Bank, so well, I've made it to the top now. It's quite blustery. I'm glad I've got the microphone on, because otherwise I doubt you'd be able to hear very much other than the camera being buffeted. But as you can see here, there's lots of big views all over Huddersfield, including Castle Hill, and in fact looking over towards Lepton and Kirkheaton, but also in the distance, don't know if you can see that, is Black Hill and Holm Moss and Wessendon Head out that way. There's Castle Hill again. If I just pan around a little bit more, you can see over towards Sovereign and Shepley. Now, a lot of people actually come up to this spot to do some hunting for wild mushrooms, and also spotting lots of beautiful insects and butterflies. That's what the nature reserve is very well known for. Very well documented species up here. There's some sheep. There's the village of Kirkheaton in the foreground, and Emily Moor Mast in the distance, as you can see over there. Oh, camera's going a bit blurry. I think the wind's affecting it. But yeah, you can really get some really extensive views all over Huddersfield.
Now, as you clamber up Dalton Bank, whatever the weather, including on extremely windy days like today, as well as getting great panoramic views towards Castle Hill and Emily Moor Mast, you'll notice this down below us, the Syngenta chemical plant complex, formerly known as ICI, perhaps to many people in Huddersfield still known as ICI. Now, Syngenta was formed in 1916 as the Huddersfield Manufacturing Centre, and at its peak employed over 4,000 people, highly skilled workers. Now today that number sits at around 400, but it still brings a lot to the local economy. Now, Syngenta itself produces lots of chemicals that help farmers protect crops, so that they can meet high food demands. And the complex itself and the company itself actually supplies around £57 million to the local economy. So it really is a boon for Huddersfield. Similarly, Syngenta prides itself on being part of Huddersfield's community, and supports lots of local initiatives and charities, including Kirkwood Hospice. Now, behind Syngenta, you'll be able to see that there's Leeds Road, and there's Leeds Road playing fields. So if you've ever played football or cricket or been to the athletics track there, you'll know that very well. I go down there twice a week to train on the athletics track, so I spend a lot of my time in that kind of area. Behind that, there's the Huddersfield Broad Canal, which runs from Huddersfield town centre all the way up to near Cooper Bridge, and then meanders. And that's a really nice walk, actually, if you want to get to the heart of kind of feeling like you're in an industrial area of a town, but also not too far from the countryside. Now, beyond that, you can see the hills with houses from Birkby and Deaton, and then a little bit further over, it's getting a little bit hazy now because of some rain that's coming in. You can see up towards Sallandine, Nurkin, over towards the hospital, and up towards the M62. I did actually see a glimmer of sunshine over in the Colne Valley to my right, a little bit of time ago, but that seems to have quickly disintegrated and disappeared.
Now looking back at Syngenta there, and then just swivelling round, we're looking over at the entirety of Dalton Bank. Wow, there's a little bit further on beyond the horizon, but it's really a big area, looks lovely and autumnal. Now this was given a nature reserve status in 1995, and since then Kirklees Council has actually intended that the area be used for educational purposes, so that students, especially primary school and secondary school students, can actually come to Dalton Bank and walk around like I'm doing, enjoy the nature, and learn a little bit about the environment as well, of course, which is particularly important given climate change which is happening. So yeah, it's a lovely big area, looking lovely and autumnal, and really showing that border between rural and urban.
Now this has been Dalton Bank Nature Reserve. I hope you like what you've seen. This is really the epitome of something that's secluded, something that's overlooked, because it's that kind of border between urban industry and urban industrial area and rural areas, something which Huddersfield has plenty of. Now, if you like this video, if you've liked what you've seen, if you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. You know how to do it. I've told you before. So if you haven't done it, do it now. Send me a message if you've got any questions about anything, or if you think there's anywhere that I should go out and visit that you think is a kind of secluded area. And thank you for watching. This has been Ted's Takes.